In this video, we're going to look at the if statement, and an if statement usually contains a condition in parentheses next to it in the pseudocode, and then it'll have these open and closed braces, and then this is what happens if this condition is true. And in the block it looks very similar. We've got the if, and then the condition is next to the if, and then the block statements right here are what happens if this condition turns out to be true. So let's see what that looks like in both Snap and Python. Alright, in Snap you can see that I've created this variable x, and I've gone ahead and set it to a value of 10, and we can see that its value displays here. And then I've created this conditional statement right now. The condition is just going to be the true value. So every time I click this conditional box, since this is true, this code will execute inside. And so if I click it, you'll watch and you'll see that the x value, every time I click this box, the x value rises. And we see x growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And I can click it, and every time I click it, the x is going to increase by 1. If I change this truth value to false, this changing the value of x by 1 will no longer execute. And so I can click it all I want to, but since this is a false statement, we're not going to run this code anymore, and you're going to see that the value of x does not go up. So that's the if statement in Snap. Let's take a look and see what it looks like in Python. In Python, I'm going to go ahead and set x equal to the value of 10. And so if I go ahead and run this cell, and then I go down here and run this cell for telling us what the output of x is, we see that the output of x is 10. If I go up and I run this cell, and then I rerun the value of x cell again, you'll notice that x incremented by 2, because 10 was less than 20. That's a true statement. And I can run this 1, 2, 3 more times, and we'll notice that as I run it each time, x is getting bigger and bigger. I think I can even run it one more time, and it'll change the value of x. But now x is 20, so when I say 20 less than 20, that's a false statement. So I can run this cell, and it's not going to change the value of x anymore, because we've reached a point right now, I can run this a bunch of times, and we've reached a point right now where that's a false statement, so it doesn't change the value of x at all. So the reserve word if, followed by some sort of conditional, a colon, and then the indentation of the body. That's how an if statement is done in Python. If you go back and look at Snap, it's just the if block with the conditional put next to the block and the thing that happens inside the if block. And both of those things basically describe what's going on with the pseudocode of the if conditional in the pseudocode, where you've got the word if and then the condition, and then there's these braces, and the braces represent, in Snap, this would be what was inside the block, and in Python, this would be what's indented after the colon statement. So that's the translation from both Python and Snap into the pseudocode language. I hope you found that information useful.